there just might be a gremlin in your house.
I'm alive.
We're live. Hey, everyone, and welcome to another episode of the Nerdy Up North podcast. It's a nerdy podcast hosted by Northern Nerds. I am one of your hosts, Sam.
And I'm one of the hosts, Paul. And we are joined by friend of the podcast and former Ghostbuster, shall we say, because he's probably lost that title now. With the new cast being announced and everything, so he's not being recast. Sorry, Martin.
Don't mind giving up my title to a 15-year-old girl. She was better anyway. And Paul Rudd's funnier as well and better looking. He's the sexiest man in the UK, so
he's a vampire, like, so it doesn't age. But yes, this episode is episode 70. We've reached 70 episodes. It probably feels how old I am now. So,
well, if you're 70, I'm 69 still.
Oh, dear. I'm still not getting over that. Like, I thought you might have got all out the system. The last episode, like I say, all the raunchiness, but no. But yes, so we did. Like I say, Martin's been asking to come back on, so we've been trying to find an episode what would fit his talents well. So we thought, with it being a special anniversary this month for Gremlins,
this week as well, the 38th this week, along with
38th anniversary. How old are we?
I know, it's ET. We're 40 this week as well.
Yes.
Turn his mic off.
Sorry, Charlotte.
I'm still a baby, yeah.
We'll not mention ET for Charlotte. We might do an episode on ET just to torment her a little bit.
Charlotte, be good.
Right, I'll get the disclaimer out the way with, and then we'll crack on talking about Gremlins and asking that most important question. What happens when you piss on a gremlin? So
I've got one to find out as well.
Everything discussed in tonight's episode is our opinions and our opinions alone. If you want to discuss any topic from tonight's episode, please come and join us on the Facebook group and we can have an open discussion. What we won't have is anyone coming for us and telling us our opinions are wrong. We can agree to disagree in fandom, so let's keep it fun, keep it kind, and keep the toxic behaviour out of nerdism.
Well done, young lady. Like I say, you're getting more professional each week. We'll get there one
day.
There's
free rules as well.
That's what you call us, professional Sam.
And we do the free rules as well for this episode of the podcast. Rule 1, don't get Paul wet because it means he has to have a shower then. And he hates having a bath. Rule 2, no matter how much he cries, no matter how much he begs, you never feed Paul because it lies heavy on him after midnight and he's complaining to Mrs. in the morning. And rule 3, no matter whatever, is don't expose Paul to bright light, only because he hates going outside.
I've just realised why Martin's not been on for a while.
So, Gremlins. Yeah. I'm going to let you two lead because this is just, in the nicest way possible, not. I don't want to say not my cup of tea, because I do like it, but I don't have the same kind of nostalgia feelings that you two do.
Yes.
So I'm going to let you
love Gremlins too.
Mm-hmm.
I like it. There's a difference between like and love, and I like it, but I didn't watch it until very recently, and I didn't watch Gremlins until I was at least 28, 29. So I don't have the same kind of nostalgia as you do. So I'll let you two gentlemen take the lead on this one.
Bless you. But that's quite a good point as well, because me and Martin probably. Well, I know definitely. I watched it when it first came out. I was probably too young to watch it as well. With you watching it on a later stage, with anything, it probably doesn't have the same nostalgia, the same type of feelings as like it takes you back to good old times as like say Ghostbusters or the only Ghostbusters for you. That's the only film you really watched when you were a kid.
That's true.
Yeah. But I can say with this one, with Gremlins being such a mainstay, like the only thing that kind of threw is when I was looking into like Gremlins a bit more and found out like this is the anniversary. It's a Christmas movie and it came out in June.
Mm.
Really?
Yeah, it did. Yeah, same day as Ghostbusters. Yeah.
So
that's a bit odd.
Yeah. So whoever was dealing with the marketing at that time should have got sacked because, like I say, absolutely bizarre. They've either released it far too early or overshot when they should have released it. So yeah, June release for a Christmas movie.
I did actually watch it at Christmas, so I watched it at the right time of year.
Definitely. But I just want to shout out to everyone in the chat. It seems like there's quite a buzz, a few people in there already. So nice to see people got stuff to do on a Sunday night.
Yeah. Thank you for taking time out of your Sunday evenings to come and join us.
Yes.
Very much appreciated.
Yes, and as someone's pointing out, it is a quintessential 80s movie. It had the 80s stars in there. Like I say, Phoebe Cates just doing everything she was.
Judge Reinhold.
Yep. Also, Thingy Feldman again. I think my brain's not went. Corey Feldman. With having what we've discussed as well, what we call the Will haircut from Stranger Things.
Yeah.
So that's probably where Will's haircut was based on of all things 80s. But yeah, with everything about this as well, this film shouldn't have worked as well as it did, just because it was, like say, a B movie horror, with shit jokes, because the jokes were terrible, but they were that bad that they actually made it funny, and like I say, with the puppeteer in it, I think this is up there with the best puppeteering movies up there. I know when you talk about puppeteering movies, they talk about Labyrinth, Dark Crystal. I think Gremlins is up there with like the animatronics and movement that you got, and all practical effects as well. Remember, and there's elements of Alien in this. There's elements of like I'll do it, Sam, just so you can laugh. There's elements of Goonies in this as well. Like I say, Little Tribe.
You can't help yourself, can you?
Spielberg, innit? Yeah.
You just can't help yourself. This is how I can imagine SunnyCon's going to go. Just every reference, Paul's is going to be the Goonies.
He's going to wear a chunk shirt, innit? Yeah.
Oh no! When we go to SunnyCon, I'm just going to sit on the mic, let Charlotte and Jake come up with the bullshit, and I'll just go. But is the films you're talking about better than the Goonies? The answer's no. I'm sorry, but yes.
Just remember, I'm your moderator, so.
I have the mic and I'll be in charge. But yes, but as a film, as you said, it was quite scary at times, which you don't expect. Especially elements like the things that do stand out to me. Of course, is like when we're first getting introduced to Gizmo at the start. In like say when it's his dad that goes in. It was the Peltzers, wasn't it? The name.
Rand Peltzer, yeah.
It was such a bizarre opening because when you see Gremlins, you think it's going to be like go to this sleepy town and family, but it's just like it's almost Blade Runner-esque, where it's like in a shadowy figure in the street, like going all film noir a little bit, and he's like doing a voiceover and walking into the shop, and like say he's trying to sell him all his shit, and the little boys get trying to basically make a quick buck on Gizmo, bless him. But the thing that always does stand out is that noise he makes when you hear him singing.
Michaela can do it so much better than me. I can't do it.
Give her a quick call and see if we can get her on the phone.
Killer, soundbite for us quickly.
But yeah, what would you say your big memory of it though, Martin?
Yeah, I think like yourself, seeing it kind of in the kind of mid-80s. It was the box, seeing kind of the VHS in the shop. It was the original one though, where it has the box with Billy holding, with Gizmo's eyes through. I think that kind of, I saw that, and I think off the back of Critters as well, it was kind of, you kind of like, it was kind of, that's what drew me to it, that box, and the fact that all the kind of Critters as well, kind of, and then Gizmo, and seeing kind of Gizmo on the back, and then watching it in the mid, and just kind of just loving Gizmo, and the sound, just the cast, like you say, it's a very much an 80s movie, and the fact that it's got Spielberg's name on it.
It's interesting.
Sorry, go
on. He produced it. He wasn't a director.
All right.
Joe Dante.
When it came out, though, because like I say, I was far too young to go out to see the pictures, so I waited for it to come out on VHS. And I remember trying to think where I bought it from as well, because I couldn't actually buy it, because I think was it a 15 or something when it came out on VHS originally. Because I think it was a 12 when it was on the pictures, but as at the time 12. The 12 didn't come out on VHS. It was either a PG or a 15, so most 12s went to 15. It was the same thing with Batman Returns.
They just did not want you to see that film, did they?
No, did the fuck. But I remember buying it from Woolworths, going down to Woolworths, and I think it got, because when it used to come out in the cinema, you used to have to wait nearly a year for it to come out on video. Not like it is now, when, like say, it comes out in the cinema 4 weeks and it's on streaming devices, or even quicker if you're a bit dodgy like us Northerners.
It's dodgy Northerners.
But
dodgy up north.
Yes, but I remember getting me birthday money and saving it up, and there was 2 VHSs I bought it at the time. This is going to show the contrast to films I used to watch. I bought 3 Men and a Little Lady, and not 3 Men and a Little 3 Men and a Baby, not the lady. The lady was the second one, and Gremlins. So they were the 2.
What are 2 complete bipolar opposites of each other? I love it.
So them were the 2 films that I say, because VHSs weren't cheap at the time when they first came out.
No, with a shite.
Yeah, so I used to get two videos for my birthday and a one for Christmas, and with toys and stuff. So I think that year I got Gremlins and 3 Men and a Little Lady. I remember the Baby, sorry, and I remember the 1 year after was Hook. Then that was so the big ones I remember buying when I was a kid. But yeah, the actual film, just like say, at that time, there were, because it was interesting, Martin saying about Critters, there were a lot of these type of films that came out or copied afterwards. Like we had Critters, the Ghoulies was another one that tried to copy and rip it off quite badly. Like if you ever watch the Ghoulies, it's god awful.
It's like one of those films that it's terrible, but it's good at the same time. It's so good. It's like it's so bad. It's good.
They look like the Boglins, if you remember the Ghoulies.
Oh my god, I used to have one of them. You put them. I can still like the rubber. Ugh.
And what was voted the worst film of all time, which was Troll. Can anyone remember Troll?
Hang on a minute. Hang on. Troll or Troll 2?
Was it Troll 2 that got
It's
voted?
Troll 2, because they just skipped past the first one and went straight to Troll 2. Honestly, watch it. It's hilarious. It's so funny. The acting in it is atrocious. It's directed by an Italian horror director who doesn't understand Americans at all. It's genius. I've just found a really interesting fact about the Gremlins that I did not know, that Howie Mandel is Gizmo.
Yeah. He did the same voice. Yeah, he did the same voice, because if you ever, do you remember Muppet Babies?
Yeah.
He was Skeeter as well. He was Skeeter and Scooter. And he also, and if you remember, there was a cartoon called Bobby's World as well. He did the same voice for Skeeter and Scooter and Gizmo and Bobby. Yeah.
So he really went out on range, didn't he?
Yeah.
I went to see the Muppet Babies at Sunderland Empire when I was a kid.
Do you know what? It was legendary. I used to love when they'd open the door and there'd be like the stormtroopers or the TIE fighters, and then they'd shut it again, and then they'd be like, there'd be like all the Lucas kind of properties, and you always saw Mum's legs. You only saw her legs,
No, but Howie Mandel is Gizmo. That's crazy. That
Perfect cast. I wonder if he's going to be in the new one as well, because they're not making a film, but it's coming to cartoon, so they're going to do like a cartoon TV show.
Yeah, Secrets of the Mogwai. Well, he was. I'll have to send you the link. I don't know. It was a Mountain Dew advert that came out last year, and they got Zach Galligan and Howie back, where it was like a live action and Gizmo, and you could see after. And it's and you could see Gizmo's like grey and he's aged. So yeah.
No, I don't want to see an Asian Gizmo.
Oh, Gizmo.
It's half the reason why I didn't watch it as a kid is because I'm too sensitive, and I think I would have like totally getting like a sentimental attachment to Gizmo, and he's not real, and it would have brought me breaks my heart.
Wait, just stop there. Gizmo's not real. I just
don't know how to break it to you now. Like,
don't. I can't take it. That's it. Everything's over.
I'm not having the. I'm so sorry.
You're just breaking the illusion now. It's like say what next? Are you going to say Labyrinth's not real? Like Ludo's not out there?
I know.
No, Ludo is real.
But I just want to say as well, I don't know if you're watching on YouTube with us, we do have a rolling like image below us that's got all the gremlins on. There's 2 little gremlins in there, special gremlins, just to see them, because be careful if you ever see them in the street, just don't get them wet.
Don't piss on them.
Don't piss on Donna.
She doesn't take too kindly to it.
No, you've got to wash first. Yeah.
Right, pay extra for that.
Yeah. So why do you love the Gremlins so much? Like, what is it? Like,
it's just so shit that it's great. I think that's the best way to describe it. It's everything that you can think of in a B movie horror. Like even when they're upstairs, it's very like old school horror like type of theatrics where they play tricks and the rules don't make any sense at all. Like, say, I know they take the piss out of it in the sequel, where it's like, don't feed them after midnight. Like, what happens on an airplane? You go over a different time zone. It's midnight somewhere. Where's that cut-off point where it's like after midnight and okay to feed them? Is it after 7 a.m.? Is it after 8 a.m.? Who knows? And then, like I say, the whole don't get it wet. Does it have to be water? Is it H2O that causes the problem? Because we've seen in the movie that Spike runs through the snow and then doesn't turn into other gremlins.
Doesn't multiply. And what
about beer in Dory's tavern?
Yeah. Do they sweat?
Yeah.
Yeah. There's that question.
And what was the other thing as well? Gizmo gets spat on his face as well, and he doesn't multiply. Is Gremlin spit different? Does it have to be a certain consistency of water that there? And the sunlight thing does make sense a little bit because people can be a bit sensitive to light, photosynthesis. That's
vampires.
Vampires, yeah. So is Gizmo really a vampire? Like, there's some form of vampire out there that doesn't suck on blood, but yeah, just all these rules which in thing makes it more fun, but doesn't make a lot of sense.
But it's isn't it just movie magic though? Like, you don't really look at the small details. You just go along with what's being said because you know.
It's like, how the hell did they hang Barney up outside with the lights? Like when there were little mogwais, they weren't gremlins.
Yeah,
they were like mogwais, and they still hang like a grown dog by the Christmas lights. You know what I mean? And
Charlotte's just made a really good point, actually, that Gremlins is probably most people's introduction to horror.
Mm-hmm. Definitely. And there's actually terrifying bits in Gremlins as well. Like when you get first introduced to the actual Gremlins, when they've morphed from like the egg state, and they go into when it's his mom that's going around the house, and she's like hearing the noises. It's very, very old school horror. And then where you think the gremlin's going to come from, and all you see is the red lights, and which are the gremlin's eyes coming out the Christmas tree, and then she gets fucking attacked by a Christmas tree with
that
gremlins.
Scene is so cool.
Yeah, and then not only does she fight the gremlin off, she chops its fucking head off and into the fire.
Yeah,
which is just
like
microwave.
She goes full. I just think of Ash from like Evil Dead in that moment. Like she just goes full on like killing spree, and it's fantastically done. The set, the scenery of that, like the colors in the whole thing actually were really striking to us, and it does have that horror element to it. I kind of wish this was my introduction to horror, as opposed to what I actually got into horror with, because it would have been such a nicer story. But yeah, and that's such a good point. Like, I never really looked at it, that like the horror aspect of it, but it is like Gremlins is such a centerpiece to the horror community.
Oh, definitely. It is pretty much like a homage to like anything that's come before it. Like the whole egg chrysalis state is so alien that they should have been sued for copyright, to be fair. But then, like, say the protagonist that is Spike was such a good protagonist, and like say such a little fucker as well that you couldn't help but hate. And what, like, say, because he used to be nasty, he used to bully Gizmo. And from that point, you knew he was a twat. So every little, like, say, thing pointed, what was his little nickname? Gizmo Caca and stuff like that. How many kids said that in the play school? Yeah.
Dickhead.
But then you had, like, say, the elements in it, like, which was pure just 80s cheese, like the actors in it, like Phoebe Cates, that whole speech about Santa Claus being was just
it's hilarious.
So out of place for the film that we were watching.
Just makes sense. Like, why bring it up?
Yeah. And as you said, Judge Reinhold's like Billy's boss, like, again, you just wanted him to get his comeuppance as well. And then they had that old dude who was driving the tractor. I can't remember what was his name?
The actor's Key Luke, but his name's Mr. Wing. Yeah.
It was pretty much in every single 80s film or TV show that was going. And that was always a reference point. And again, he was like talking about Gremlins taking out planes and stuff in Nam. So it's like, then you think as Gremlins.
Oh, no, sorry, you're on about
Korea, wasn't it?
Marie Futterman, or Dick Miller.
Dick Miller. Yeah. Sorry, I couldn't remember his name. So, and he's basically just like telling this story, like being drunk at the bar, and he was going to drive don't drink and drive, guys, but he was going to drive a forklift home, and like had to be tricked out and not driving. I was like, Jesus, it's sending messages already about Christmas drinking.
This is a Christmas film, kids.
And then until the kind of radio, the Rocky Rialto kind of thing at the end, you think he dies by getting run over by him in the tractor. Yeah.
I do love the second one though, when they stop Phoebe Cates from saying the dad story.
I
think that is hilarious.
Sorry, I've just been corrected in the trap. It wasn't Spike; it was Stripe. That was the thing.
Yeah, Spike was in the sequel. Yeah, Spike right. was the protagonist.
I'm just agreeing because I don't know.
Pleasure.
You could say anything to us, and I'd be just like, yeah.
But where this one was more of a comedy in aspects, like the whole when they're going to the cinema and stuff and they're all singing. What was in the cinema in this one, was it? No, it was.
That was the second one.
Yeah, it's when they watch Snow White and they all sing Hi Ho
and Hi Ho. And you see them like taking over the bar and stuff, and again, like one of them's under the tap down in beer, getting wet but not morphing, and you see his belly going up and stuff like that. But the whole build up of the movie was done in a classic, as you said, classic horror, like beats and stuff. From the instance, like when in the high school and they take they find this creature and say, oh yeah, we'll take it to a high school science teacher because that's what you do. But
they all do it.
Yeah.
Look at the faculty.
And he gets injected to death. Yeah.
And like say they're doing tests on the one in the cage, and the nasty science teacher pulls out a vat of blood, which you would do, just to see what kind of like creature it was, and the Mogwai's getting pissed off, and he stupidly leaves his sandwich there. He eats the sandwich, and that's when we're first getting introduced to like the chrysalis, like the egg state, when he's in the cage. And
it makes me stomach churn.
Yeah. That's nothing. Like say when the stomach churn. The most horrific part of the movie is when you see the Gremlins, the Mogwais eating fucking chicken. That's just horrific to watch. Like what was like? I don't know what I was watching at that. Was it some kind of porn? Was it some kind of fetish type thing there? But it definitely wasn't any chicken I've seen before.
One of the scenes I love, and I've still, is Mrs. Deagle's death. Like the old, the old witch had it coming. It's hilarious. The way she just flies out the window.
Yeah, well, I wanted to talk about her as well because she was such an abhorrent character as well. It was very, as I said, when they were ripping off like different characters, it was very Wicked Witch of the like Wizard of Oz type of character. Where it's, I'll get your little
to kill,
I'll get your little dog too. But it was, but it was so over the top and cheesy and ham. But the problem is people like that out there who's just that much of a twat. I got really angry as well when she pushed in line. I was like, bitch, who knew?
Yeah.
Because we're so English, like queuing is our thing. Like, no, we don't do people pushing in line. We know how to queue. I can totally understand your rage on that one.
But then, like, going through the whole motions, like over a fucking porcelain, what was it, a porcelain snowman. That's why she wanted to kill the dog.
Barney, yeah.
You want to murder a dog over a bloody porcelain? What is wrong with this woman? Like, I'm glad she got what was coming to her.
That's why when she went up that stair lift. But again, that stair lift thing didn't make sense because we've all seen the stair lift. Some like say, no way can you pick up that speed. I've tried it as a kid when I've been like old people's home and I've seen a stair lift. I wanted to recreate Gremlins and try it out, and no way could you get up there.
No, my
granddad. It's not even just that. Sorry, Sammy.
No, sorry, go on.
No, it's like how many floors she goes up as well. It's like that house is only like 2 floors.
Yeah.
But she's like going round and round and round and round and round. Yeah.
Oh my God. My granddad used to have one and it was the slowest thing going. Like it really was. And it was literally just going upstairs. It took about 10 minutes to get up there. Yeah. There's no way she shot out of it.
Yeah.
Unless it had like roller coaster like mechanism in it to where she could just shoot off.
But you know what I love about it as well? When she flies out the window and she gets like killed into the snow, she's upside down in the snow. There's a police car there watching it, and they do fuck all the hell.
Maybe they wanted to see her gone too.
But then you see, I love that Santa as well. That's running with all the gremlins on him.
Yeah, but that scene happens like literally a few seconds after like the police car. Because I think it's one of the guys out of Breaking Bad.
It is.
It's what's his name?
Mike. Is it Mike? No. Yeah, Mike.
He's from Better Call Saul as well. Yeah. I know Mike.
He was one of the sheriffs, and like, see, I didn't realize until I rewatched it not too long ago. And when you see it, they're just sitting in the car looking at him, going, "Oh, there's Mrs. Deagle in the snow. She's clearly dead." And they're just like, but then, but then,
leave her there.
Yeah. Then they look to the left and they go, "Hey, there's such and I can't remember the name. Such and such. He plays Santa every year, and he's clearly getting attacked by these little monsters." And they're in the car, just sitting there going, "It's like you're supposed to be fucking police officers. You've got a gun."
That's like the adult talking in you, because as a kid you would not have thought twice about that scene. You'd be like, yeah, that's just like witness what's going on. But as an adult, you're like, holy shit, will you do your job?
But it's so well done though. Like I say, it's like so badly done. I'm trying to think of the right word. Fantastic is probably the best way to describe it.
Fantastic, what a word!
But when they made this film, they must have known like how much money they were going to make. Like, not just off the film, but just off the marketing type thing.
And merchandise alone.
Because, like I said, Martin's got a gizmo. I've got a gizmo next to Woody. I've got the NECA toys, figures and stuff now. I've got Greta in the other room with brains. Like, it's just constantly going, and it's still... People are just buying more and more of the stuff now than they probably ever did.
I think like for toy wise, like or collection wise, Gremlins is at like an all-time high. Anytime, like we went to a convention last year, me and Carolyn, and she loves the Gremlins. And she's a NECA collector, and that's all she bought was just Gremlins. But like you've got the really tall ones that have come out recently. They are fantastic in detail, mind. Absolutely fantastic in detail.
But as a film, when you think about it, you can't. Well, there's elements that do stand out, and there's elements that do, like, say, jump in your head thing. But when you watch it back, you don't realise it's almost a 2-hour film as well.
Is it?
It's not like I think the runtime. I'll just see if I can get that up because I'm sure it's like one. I can't get it. I might be talking bullshit here. Sorry, guys.
I actually, do you know what? I actually own them on DVD because when I first watched it, I was at my in-laws and he wanted to put his favorite film on. It was my father-in-law's night, and we watched the Gremlins, which was his favorite movie, like favorite Christmas movie. Then he put his next favorite movie on, which was Maximum Overdrive, which was the first time I ever watched it.
Awful.
It is so good.
No, it's
with the Green Goblin, but
I absolutely love that film. But it was just like that night was just great in itself. And then the next day I went out and bought them on DVD, and I think they've honestly sat in the cupboard ever since.
Well, I've just looked at it now. The runtime for Gremlins was 1 hour and 46.
That's long for an 80s film. You're only looking around about typical 90 minutes for like 80s films. So that's kind of long.
Yeah, especially for like say the because it wasn't really a complex story. It ran from A to B. Like see the characters that they brought in, some of them were interesting choices. Like I never really got the appeal of Billy's dad. That whole like say inventor
Rand.
Yeah, it just seemed odd for like say thing. I know like say try to make him out to be a dreamer and stuff, but it just seemed to be like say wait and cram weird and wonderful things like the inventions he brought, like the smokeless ashtray that never worked. The hammer that
bathroom buddy.
The bathroom buddy with like the razor toothpaste where it just looked like a block with loads of like a Rubik's
like
cube.
guacamole,
yeah, that just was strange. But and the
orange
juicer,
machine,
the orange
where,
juicer,
the juicer, or the egg one as well.
Yeah, I remember them.
The orange juice had made us feel sick, I'll have to admit. That, like I said, I've never felt queasy like watching a film just with all these different like weird and wonderful food references. That never worked. Even the coffee, when the coffee came out like black sludge.
It was like that in baby food in RoboCop.
I didn't understand Billy's friendship with Corey Feldman's character.
Yeah,
why would this grown teenage boy be friends with such a child? Like, I don't know. Am I missing something here? Like, because as a teenage girl, I wouldn't want to knock around like with younger people.
I get it in a way because it was small town America where probably there wasn't people like that too much around your age where you could relate as much.
Yeah.
Here in the UK and stuff, we're constantly around kids your age, but you have to remember Billy was a kid at heart as well because he wasn't just like a banker. He wanted to be an artist.
Comic books, yeah.
And that was where we got the element in Gremlins 2 when he put that to work. But when he was drawing and stuff, he went to the bar and they made reference to it and they go, you're going to be better than this, Billy. And you can tell he wasn't happy in his job, which, to be fair, most of us aren't. And then
it's true.
You never got to live out what you wanted to do or how you could do it unless you're living in the American dream. But no, like I say, I think now it is a bit more of an odd friendship because age ranges kind of stick to them. But I think back in the 80s and stuff, because I had friends where were a lot older than me, and like I say, that was just either through football or
that's true,
because everyone wanted to hang out with like the cool kids and stuff like that. But
were you part of the cool kids?
I was never part of the cool kids. That's never happened even to this day. But
no, me neither. This has been like this since I was like 13, so I was definitely not part of the cool kids.
But for us, like as I said, with a horror movie as well, I know we've talked about the different beats, but it has proper gross out scenes as well. I think Martin alluded to it before. The microwave scene is not easy to watch, and especially with the ending spoilers, when the big fight off with Stripe in the shopping mall, where he's trying to stop him from getting to the fountain. Like I say, I don't know why. Like I say, plenty of taps, plenty of toilets,
plenty of snow.
Plenty of snow. He had to go at this fountain where he was going to produce probably mega gremlins or something. Never really think that was what the big scared was, that they were trying to stop Stripe from getting there.
I went in the pool, when he jumped in the swimming pool.
Yep. and you see him doing all these things like proper like. There was one point they got like what's that thing called? Saw this circular saw.
Oh, I know what you mean.
Yeah,
like the blade when he's going after them with that, and then he got the chains.
That?
Then he got the
chainsaw
chainsaw
with a baseball bat. Yeah.
Like I say, them type elements was actually quite terrifying, and then you got the whole hero moment of Gizmo driving a remote control car somehow and actually steering, and taking out Stripe and opening the blinds, and then we saw what happened to the Gremlins when sunlight hit, and that was terrifying.
Yeah, I'm having that moment right now. The sunlight is just hitting my face, and it's making me look so old. Like it needs to stop.
Oh, bless you! You don't look old. You look the youngest person on this podcast.
Yeah.
Thanks.
making us look good.
Which isn't that much though, but that's not saying much.
They changed the ending as well, because they filmed it originally where Billy was the hero, and then when he watched, and then when Zach went sorry at the when he was sorry at the premiere, it was Gizmo, and he was like, "What the hell's all this about?" It's why
and
am I
said,
not the
Billy,
hero?
don't be a hero.
Yeah.
I was sitting on that one.
Oh dear. Bless her, she's proud of that. But yeah, I don't think they would have played out as well if they did it that way. But and then you got the sad story where Gizmo was taken away from Billy, even though it seemed they were like at home together. The mystical Asian dude come in with the glass eye, and was saying,
"Oh, Mr. Wing, I loved him. He was sad when he died in Gremlins 2."
But when he took,
which we'll get to,
when he took Gizmo away, and he was then Gizmo can talk. Like I know we got little words. He was like, "See ya, Billy," and and then he was Mr. Wing came around and said, "You might be ready one day to things." So that was the whole teaser for the sequel. So in a nutshell, I know we've like not really talked about it much, but there's like I say with Gremlins, as you said, with the story and everything. It was more aesthetically than story wise, but visually it was one of the better films out there. And I know it had little cameos as well, like the robot from Forbidden Planets? That was originally.
Yeah, when he's at the Inventors Convention. Yeah.
If you said the robot from Rocky 4, I would have been more impressed.
I think Buck Rogers as well.
Yes.
I think it was
But I just felt like a quintessential 80s movie that didn't really do much, but still was just a lot of fun.
And still captures your hearts today. I mean, you still, with 2022, and we're doing a podcast on Gremlins, and there's quite a few people in the chat who absolutely love it. So it's still not exactly holds up, but it's still got that fan base there.
Yeah, Spielberg saved it though, because the original concept was terrifying. I think that's where Critters was born from that. Because Chris Columbus's original script was terrifying. There was a scene where he'd written where Mrs. Peltzer, Lynn Peltzer, she gets decapitated.
Yeah.
Gizmo was originally going to become a gremlin. There was a scene where they go to McDonald's and instead of eating all the food, they eat the people.
I was still like that. I would have thought that would have been funny.
That'd have been hilarious.
But it would have been a bit more B movie that, and Spielberg steps in and was like, "No, Gizmo's going to be the hero." And
who did the puppeteering? It wasn't Jim Henson, was it?
Chris Wallace. It was Chris Wallace. They got Rich Baker for the sequel because Chris Wallace was directing The Fly 2.
Right.
So
that's probably where the detail comes from. Who's this? The baddie in 2?
So it was Spike. It was Spike, sorry.
Because he was Spider,
because the detail in that is unreal, and Rick Baker's work is just incredible. So that explains that.
Yeah, but if you move in, into the second one, again, it was pretty much the same premise as the first, but it was
funny.
But it was kind of like Die Hard with Gremlins, because there was a terrorist organization took over the whole tower, and
Oh, Clamp Corners was like, it was pretty much like in the Nakatomi Plaza. Yeah.
It's so funny though, like it honestly is. If anyone's seen this sketch from Keen and Peele, where they're doing the boardroom meeting, and he's like, right, and got this executive producer walks in, who's Jordan Peele, and he's like, right, I just want your ideas, just throw your ideas. Every single one that comes out in that boardroom is actually the plot of Gremlins 2.
Yeah.
It's so great.
But I think with Gremlins 2 as well, they knew they let us in on the joke, because they took the piss out of itself so much, like from the elements of, like, say, when they're taking the piss out of when they're in the video tower. Not it wasn't the video, it was like the security room where they've seen all the videos, and they were talking about saying, what about after midnight? Like, what constitutes after midnight?
Yeah.
These are the questions.
Does he get a seed stuck in his teeth? And
because technically he hasn't ate that up before midnight. It was just processed. It was like, and Billy was getting frustrated with the whole thing, but if taking it back as well, like the whole sadness as well of the whole of corporate America taking over the little business,
like Donald Trump, Trump Towers,
and then he passing away and Gizmo trying to run down the street and like seeing his little legs going as well.
Yeah,
that was really well done. But then being captured by the weird twin guys from Terminator.
Yeah, oh my gosh, yeah.
Don and Dean Stanton, yeah.
And also, Christopher Lee is in this film.
Yeah,
definitely.
And he apologized. Yeah, and he apologized to Joe Dante. He said, "I'm sorry for doing the Howling too."
Doing what?
He was in the Howling 2, which was absolutely terrible. Because one of Joe Dante's biggest films, other than like Inner Space and Gremlins, was the Howling, and they did a really god awful sequel to the Howling 2, and Christopher Lee was in it. So he when he got cast in Gremlins 2, he said to Joe Dante, "Look, I'm sorry for doing it."
To be fair, though, if you go back through Christopher Lee's back category, he's done some shit. So I wouldn't be too.
He was in a rock band as well. He wasn't just Dracula. He wasn't just Saruman. He was like a rock guitarist, you know.
He was also Count Dooku, so like.
Exactly. Yeah.
Then one of the greatest films ever made. Phantom Menace.
Great film. No, the pod race scene and Duel of the Fates are incredible. I will die on the hill for them two scenes.
The cast mind in Gremlins 2 is quite impressive. Mm-hmm. John Aston's in it. John Glover, who plays, I think it's his boss, and he's also oh my gosh, what's he's in Smallville, he's in Scrooge with Bill Murray. He's such an amazing character actor. Like his facial expressions alone are absolutely hilarious. I was very happy when I saw his face. And
Robert Ricardo as well.
Yes. Mm-hmm. I've just got to see his name come up on the list as well. Who is Jerry Goldsmith? Because he's come up on the first and second one.
No, he was he did the score.
Right, got you. So he's responsible for that music.
Yeah, he was kind of like.
Can we talk as well for Gremlins 2 for the nightmares? Because the Gremlins and Gremlin 1 weren't terrifying, like in looking wise. They were more like you wouldn't like to fuck with them, but they were you could tell they were puppets. They took it to the next level in this one with like the genetic experiments, and we got all types of different gremlins in this one. That absolutely was terrifying. Like that spider one was just something that you've never experienced ever. Like that web and
Rambo Gizmo.
But we also got the bat gremlin.
Bat gremlin, electric gremlin.
Yep, the bat one who got the injection saying that that would allow him not to be affected by sunlight.
The sunlight, yeah.
So he flew out a window and done the bat signal, which was just absolutely hilarious. And then we got the two more famous ones. We got Greta, the absolutely gorgeous, like I say, the most sexualized Donner-esque gremlin I think we'll ever get.
I've got to give a shout out to Nicole, you know, your lovely wife who did an amazing cosplay for Halloween.
She doesn't watch these. She kind of stand me talking. So
no, but still, But it's still though,
My
she looked
husband doesn't watch
incredible.
them.
Same here with Catherine, but no, she looked incredible as well. Yeah, as Greta. But yeah, like you say, she was amazing, Greta.
And also, as you said, the brain, which is one of the most
Tony Randall.
comedy genius type aspects as well. Having a super intelligent gremlin just talking the most utter shit that you've ever seen.
Oh, but the accent.
New York. Oh yeah, New York is incredible. I can't listen to that song without, going nowhere, start spreading, and like Tony Randall. Yeah.
He's a nigger figure now, isn't he?
Yeah, well, that's like going back to what you were saying about, the NECA figures. I think Gremlins 2, it helped the NECA line because of the ridiculousness of them.
I think you can get the Spider one in NECA, but it's like absolutely sold out. It's very hard to get to come by now. I don't actually think I could want to own it though. I think imagine waking up during the night and seeing the spider like a shadow or something. Fuck.
Well, do you know what? If you didn't take him out the box, you could just close the lid.
Yeah.
No. What have you? No.
He's out.
Is he a NECA?
He's out of the box.
Is he still got the ties around him?
No, it's his little bow and arrow.
Oh right, I thought that was like the ties.
That was I hated that. That bolt fitting the matchstick. Yeah, I've had to put him back in his box because it was an absolute bitch. But yeah,
tell you what, though, I'm gonna absolutely terrify you here because I've just pulled Gizmo's face off. Do you want to see what Gizmo looks like with no face?
Yeah.
And I've just saw his eyes out. Hey guys, that's Gizmo without a face, and you can rub his eyes, and he can go bong-eyed as well. Watch this, guys. Bong-eyed Gizmo.
For people, honestly, for people who are, oh my God, you took Gizmo's face off. For people who were listening to us on audio, apologies. Paul has literally just ripped the face off Gizmo. Martin, you get me very nervous when you start doing stuff around your collection, mate. You really do. They're glass cabinets.
Yeah.
Just got his face back.
It's like with Goodwill on the Star Trek one, my heart was racing.
I really wanted Goodwill to fall because I you could tell how proud he was as well. I really wanted them to fall off. Or
at least just one to just go dunk.
Bounce off his head. But yeah, I see the markability for this one, and there were so many little in jokes as well, like the whole bong-eyed gremlin that was just like absolutely goofy as fuck.
Oh, Daffy, yeah.
That when he was in, but again broke the rule because he was in the cooking show and he was in a pot with loads of water and spaghetti, and he wasn't multiplying. So what the fuck? Get your
Oh my God! Charlotte's just said that's what happens when you piss on a gremlin. That.
Here we go then. Come on then. Right.
You dare, Martin, and I will.
Right. We're going to test this theory now. Come on.
Oh, let's not.
No one needs to see your penis. So no one's got a microphone, so don't worry, mate.
You've got a Zoom feature, yeah.
It's not after hours, it's still pre-watershed.
But yes, I know they're releasing as well like an accessory pack with Gremlins. I think it comes out in August that I've got my eye on because it comes with, you get 2 of the eggs, so it looks creepy. One of the Gremlins that's in fitness clothes for some reason, but you get Gizmo in his car. And that's what I really wanted for Gizmo in the pink car.
Yeah, they've done a Gizmo Pop as well in his car as well, yeah.
Oh, didn't talk about Pop's. Laurel start going, yeah, I've got this.
Oh, I know, I was going to say,
yeah.
The pop queen will start telling us how to get it and stuff.
Yeah. There's when we go to For the Love of Horror in October, you'll be pleasantly surprised with the amount of Gremlins merchandise that's there.
Cool.
Because that's all we saw. Well, it's not all we saw, but it's all Carolyn looked at while we were there last year.
I know Donna keeps on eyeing up when we're going Be More Geek. The life-size Gremlins, I think they're about 200 quid or something like that. But
oh yeah.
But there's I think when they do Nerd Fest, I've seen the photographs. They've got the seats like they're in the cinema, and it's got the Gremlins with the popcorn. And you can actually get your photograph taken with them and stuff. That looks quite interesting. But there's so many like good memories though when you think about like Gremlins. It's not just about the Gremlins or Gremlins 2. what I love about Gremlins 2 as well is not actually any of the Gremlins, is the old bloke who does the horror channel. Who dresses up as the guy?
It was out. It was in the Munsters remake. Yeah. It was Grandpa Munster, and he was in Mrs. Doubtfire as well.
But
as his boss.
Having him, like, say, walking around and interviewing, like, as he said when he interviewed Green, dressed as it's just comedy that worked really well, and just fit in so much with the elements. But all the different, like, because in this one as well, like the first one, all you had was two different individual Gremlins. You had the Mogwai, which is Gizmo, and Stripe. That was only two individual one, but they give you more in this one. You had Spike and Goofy, or Daffy, whatever it's called, and then the grumpy looking one, which he just looked like an old man gremlin for some reason. His face
black one, yeah.
But I know that they are bringing out all the Teddy range and stuff like that. Donna's showing off now in the chat saying, I have it. Well,
no, I have to have it.
All right, I have to have it.
She's not showing off. She wants it. I do follow a... Sorry?
I'm sure Donna gets what she wants.
I do follow a collector who has the really tall Gremlins, and they take up a lot of space. Like, you have to have the room to have them that. They're not even figures. They're like full, big, tall, they're massive things. I would not want to wake up and see that in my face on a morning.
It probably had worse, so don't worry.
It's true.
But there's so many like good aspects, and like when you think about it, I know even when you watched it a little, it's just pure entertainment. There's nothing I would say is bad about these films.
No, it's not offensive. It's not. No. There's nothing.
Hulk Hogan.
Which version?
Yeah, well, they had John Wayne in the VHS version. Yeah,
that's what I was going to ask you, is because I knew there was different versions of the was it on the cinema screen?
Yeah.
Yeah, so I saw the Hulk Hogan version.
Yeah, so there was a UK version that came at the cinema had John Wayne. The American version had Hulk Hogan.
Why did we have John Wayne?
No idea. And then when they brought it out on VHS, we kept the John Wayne version. But for some reason, when they brought it out on, was it DVD or Blu-ray? I don't know if we had to wait for Blu-ray. I think the DVD might have had both versions, but the Blu-ray was purely the Hulk Hogan version. And if you try and stream it as well, you can't get the John Wayne one for love of money. It is just the Hulk Hogan one that's there.
Why John Wayne though? Like, that's not like quintessential British is not John Wayne. If that was for British audiences, that's ridiculous. Should have had Del Boy. I'd have been mint that.
But like I say, did this one do well, like Gremlins 2? Because I don't know. I'm surprised we didn't get more things, because this had franchise player all over it.
Yeah, it didn't. It got its money back on home video because it came out they pushed it back so it didn't collide with Batman. But it came out the same weekend as Dick Tracy, and Dick Tracy basically blew it out of the water. Which is
surprising.
yeah. But then because Dick Tracy had the Might of Madonna as well, didn't they, behind it? So that's why. So it made its money back on home video.
Well, score-wise on Rotten Tomato, you're looking at 85% for Gremlins 1, and Gremlins 2 is 71. So that kind of shocks us, because Gremlins 2 is almost like a joke version of the first one, like, because they are literally taking the piss out of it. So why wouldn't critics do exactly the same? But no, scored a really, really reasonable score.
But I think with Gremlins 2, the joke was pretty much the same as the first one. It didn't really give us anything too different.
It didn't rehash. Yeah, it could have been a rehash of the first, but it wasn't.
But because I know they've talked about it and planned to do like multiple sequels in the past that just never seemed to get off the ground. I know now thank God they're doing a cartoon rather than the CGI one.
Secrets of the Mogwai,
Is that what 3 years? Charlotte says they've got 3 penciled in or slated for next year.
It's not a film, it's a TV show, I think.
Yeah, it's about kind of the Mogwai in.
More
I think
TV to
it's
watch.
based on the book. Yeah, it's based more on the books because the Gremlins novel was an alien, Gizmo.
Yeah,
so it's based around that.
I think we talked about this when last time Kev was on, and we talked about pissing
Yeah,
the
he
gremlin
did.
because we were just trying to work out what Gizmo was or what the gremlins were, because they were a mythical creature. But it turned out, I think Kev found out that they were like an alien race, that they were the mythology was behind
Yeah.
it, which is
Well, Mogwai means demon.
Right.
Yeah, in Chinese.
Oh well, there's plenty of them around, so.
It's true.
Shav.
I was going to ask you something about it, and I've completely forgotten.
I was wondering if there's
I don't
anyone.
think it was.
Has anyone got any questions in the chat? Because I know the chats are getting quite lively there. Have you got any questions you want to ask us about Gremlins, guys? Or if you want to have a think about it, and we'll try and answer them throughout this as well. But I know the animation style isn't. It's not. I wouldn't say it's not old school animation, but it's not new school either. Because I know, like I say, when you look at new school animation, like the likes of what they've done for Thundercats and stuff like that, they haven't too kiddified it. So that's why it's keeping me interested in the new TV show and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So, again, it just depends like how they go with it. Because I know they've got some decent voice actors into it as well. But is it
James Wong? Yeah.
Yeah. Is it going to be more along the lines of what happened after Gremlins 2, or is it going to be a prequel before this, or like the origins? Because it's a difficult thing. So Donna's just asked as well. So which Gremlin do you most relate to? So we'll go with Martin first.
Probably Daffy. Yeah.
You definitely look the similar, so that's fine. I'll give you that one. What about you, Sammy?
How about you?
No idea. I'm going to say, because it just of how sensitive I actually am, I'm going to go with Gizmo. I'm probably not as brave as Gizmo, but I'm definitely like the sensitive side and the affectionate side. I'll go with Gizmo.
Cool. I'll probably say that I'll be the bad guy of the bunch. Then I'll go with
What the fuck?
I'll go with what's the matter? You've been attacked.
No, I can smell fire.
Fire? You're on fire?
I generally don't know, and I can't move from my chair.
You'll be fine, as long as you don't say smoke.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'll probably say a Stripe from the first one. I wasn't as evil as the second one, because I probably wouldn't like to be turned into a spider or anything like that. But I'd be, like, say, if I turned into a nasty gremlin, I'd probably pick on Sammy. So yeah, I'd probably go
most likely.
And,
most likely.
So thoughts on the use of CGI these days over the use of practical effects? So I'll give this one to you, Sammy. I know you're quite opinionated with this one.
Like, everyone knows my stance on practical effect. It is, if you can do it, then why would you not? And you are right. This one is the staple of practical effects, and I think that was what the magic of the 80s was that they didn't have the technology to do it to start with, so they had no choice. Kind of. I love practical effects. Sorry, this fire thing's really bothering us. I think it's a barbecue outside.
Go and get yourself a burger then. Martin, what are your thoughts on, like, say, the use of CGI or practical effects for this?
No, I agree with Sammy. I mean, like with the Jurassic movies, when it's needed, use it. But I still I think practical, you still need to use that just to have that realism. Like with the Mountain Dew advert, they used a practical Gizmo. And I think if they do a Gremlins 3, it needs to be practical, because the CG wouldn't move as realistically. So if needed, do it.
Yeah.
But
yeah, if you can do without, then stick with practical. It's the only. It might look a bit janky, but it's still gonna be more realistic than what CGI can do.
Cool. And Charlotte's asking, so which members of the podcast team would you cast as which Gremlin? So Donna's already Greta. So
yeah. Is there a Grant?
I would say Grant's probably is the brain.
Yeah. Yeah.
Charlotte's probably I would say the bat one, because I can see Charlotte flying around shitting on us.
Kev.
I think
out.
Jake's too lazy to be a gremlin, so he would probably just like sleep in the corner
Poor Jakey.
and probably as Kev would just which one's the grumpiest one? So
Hi.
The one with the face, the black. I forget his name, but the black one. Yeah, who's just like hates when they're climbing on him, and yeah.
And someone's just pointing out Donna's just pointing out Grant as the Flasher Gremlin as well. So yeah. That's just Donna dreaming a little bit there. So
yeah.
Goodwill's definitely the electric gremlin because he's just his personality. He's all over in it. He's like here and everywhere. Yeah.
Goodwill. If there was a Muppet Gremlin, there would be a Muppet Gremlin. That would be Goodwill.
Oh, definitely. Well, Charlotte's asking, what universe would you like to see a crossover with the Gremlins?
Oh, interesting. Scooby-Doo.
Really?
Well, they're doing an adult live-action Scooby-Doo TV show. So if it's going to be more adult themed, but I would love to see something like a bit cheesy, like Supernatural versus Gremlins as well. Dean and Sam hunting down Gizmo and finding these beasts that like say. And be one of them episodes where Dean's cursed, where he's scared of everything, so he's terrified of Gizmo running away from him and stuff.
Gizmo's like the trusty sidekick.
Yes.
That'd be pretty cool. That'd be pretty cool.
But it's a difficult one as well, because to be fair, it's not difficult if you think about it. Gremlins could pretty much walk into any franchise. And
they'd be like, what the fuck is that?
Yeah, and could play a part. You could do like Gremlins and Beetlejuice, Gremlins and the Goonies.
Gremlins versus Ewoks.
I'm
in for that one.
Batman versus Gremlins, that would be interesting as well.
Freddy versus Jason versus Gizmo.
Let's see how...
I'm so interested.
Surprised Stranger Things haven't done an element of it as well, because like say,
we've got 2 more episodes to go,
and a 5th season being announced.
What? I thought this was it.
No, they've announced next season's the last season, season 5.
Yeah, they have. Yeah.
I'm so confused. It's like Game of Thrones all over again. So wait a minute. The next 2 that we get in July, that ends season 4, right?
Yeah.
But it doesn't end the whole story.
No. There's season 5. They've announced 4 and 5 with the last 2.
Donna's just won it though, by the way, just being Lost Boys versus Gremlins. Vampire Gizmo.
Oh.
Vampire Gremlin would be good, yeah, because we've had the Bat Gremlin and yeah.
That fire's really bothering the pants off us now.
You know when?
That's why I can't move. And I'm so sensitive to smell, and it's probably someone is just having a barbecue or something, and it's that windy. My window's open.
Yeah.
Such an idiot. But yes, vampires and Gremlins would be amazing. I'll be in for that shit.
Or even Pennywise versus Gremlins.
Nightmare Before Christmas with Gremlins, yeah.
Oh, I think Pennywise would absolutely annihilate them. Just what does a gremlin taste like?
Hey, Georgie. Oh yes. How does it like taste like chicken, or does it taste like a bit of pork?
I would say chicken. Gremlin burger.
That'll be some franchise, that, yeah.
Zombie gremlins. Oh, that's right. Chuck them in The Walking Dead. Oh, I love that idea so much.
A bit liven it up a bit. So.
Oh, God, yeah, would it? Just imagine you got Rick and Daryl having a really serious conversation, and across the field walks Gizmo.
But yeah,
I'm gone.
We have to be careful talking about Stranger Things, because, like I say, we're going to do a podcast episode on Stranger Things when.
Oh yeah, no.
But that's the thing though, because I thought season 4 was the final, and they've been talking about it as the final for a long time, and now they've announced that we've got the story for season 5 now. It's like, wait there, what the fuck? Netflix has already announced this is the final season. Swings went wrong there, but yeah.
Sons of bitches. Actually, I'm pleased. But it is one of those series that I don't get excited about until it's on me telly.
Yeah.
Like once it's done and dusted with, like, that's it. I'm fine until it comes back on again. Are we going to wrap this bad boy up then?
Yes. Like I say, it's a short and sweet one tonight, guys. Like I say, I know we've pretty much running on empty at the moment. But I think it was quite a fun thing to talk about. Like I say, with us talking about movies and stuff of the age, but. One thing I wanted to make a point of, because I know we've talked about Gremlins before, but one of the cast members in it, I thought she would have done more things because she was quite interesting. Was the redhead, Billy's boss in the second one?
Oh yes.
Yeah, because she, like I say, she was an interesting character and she seemed to play the part well. But as soon as after Gremlins had finished, and I'm gonna admit it, I've got a soft spot for redheads anyway. So,
yeah.
Which bloke doesn't?
But
Mary Jane really messed you guys up.
But she kind of just disappeared, and I don't think she was in anything after this either.
She was in one of the Home Alone sequels. I think it was 3 or 4.
That's probably why.
Oh dear. But yes, because I think we've got a long episode next week, which I know Sam's looking forward to. The top 5 dinner party guests.
Yes.
So before we go, Martin, I know you're not going to be on next week's episode. So who would be your top 5 dinner party guests?
Oh, good shout. Dan Aykroyd.
Right.
Because we talked with Paranormal and they bring his Crystal Head vodka to get pished. Sir Paul McCartney. Tim Burton. Good shout. I'm trying to think of the other 2, really. I would have said Rick Mayall, but...
It doesn't have to be alive or a thing.
No.
Could even be
a majority of mine are coming back from the grave, so...
Rick Mayall, definitely. I'd say probably, yeah. Try and think of the 5th. What about you guys? I know
we're doing it. I'm doing it next week. You will have to tune in to next week, Martin.
Yes. Stop trying to get spoilers.
I'll be there, but...
You got one more? Come on, you
I'm trying to think off the top of my head. There's so many. I'd say probably George Lucas, just to be able to open his mind and getting, I
don't think you'll find much,
Yeah.
I think it's already laid out there in Star Wars.
Lee Evans, actually. I change it, yeah. I'd love Lee Evans. He'd just been manic.
I don't like getting wet that much, so if Lee Evans is sweating on us, I'd end up punching the cunt. Sorry.
It's been a while since you threw the C word out.
Yeah. But yes, so that I know we haven't really reviewed Gremlins, but it's just been a quick run through of what we love, what we enjoyed about it, and like I say, a lot of things to take from. So it's been a fun little episode.
Fun little ditty to do on a Sunday evening.
Yes. So trying to think now. My brains went dead. Yes. So join Charlotte's Book Club. I still can't remember what the theme is now. So.
Books to movies, wasn't it the same? Didn't it?
Right. Books to movies, yes.
Yeah, it ran in line with the podcast when it came out.
Yeah, I think I'm still knackered off doing the Twitch stream on Friday. If anyone wants to watch that back.
Anyone wants to watch Paul actually lose his shit?
Rage quit nearly, yeah.
I never quit. But I lost a lot of
respect.
I think some of the words that came out of my mouth, I've never swore so much in my life.
I am going to actually tune in while it's still available on Twitch, because I popped in for a bit, but I was in the middle of watching something that I don't wish to discuss on this podcast.
All I'll say is Scrap Brain Zone, Act 1. Jake and Paul will know.
All I remember
it was like Groundhog Day. That act was like Groundhog Day for you two.
But I just remember screaming, saying, "I have a fucking whore of a cocksucker" at one point.
Oh my god!
And then throwing my controller down when I died at 3 times. But I remember it being a lot easier when I was a kid. That was the most.
You've
bizarre.
got an adult brain now. There's so much mushed in there that you can't just clear it for it.
But I remember being patterns. You used to work out the patterns, and you can do it. There was no fucking patterns in this. There was no rhyme or reason. Like literally, you was standing on one thing, and you think, right, this is the timing.
I'm so glad I wasn't on this one.
I'm sorry, I'm going off it now because it
you
made
go
no
first.
Sense. You jumped, and the paddle should have been there. It wasn't fucking there. And you fell to nothing, and Yeah, sorry, but I won.
But if you in the end result, Paul did win. But if you want to check it out, it is available on Twitch, and I believe maybe our last Twitch might still be available, where we did the ghost hunt with Goodwill.
Yes, the schedule.
Watch Goodwill. We scaredy cat Goodwill. Fucking chicken shit.
Yes, and I know Jake's probably got more things planned, but I don't know if I'll be doing the race. It was too stressful for us.
Yeah, me and Jake need to arrange to continue our Resident Evil 5 because it is very much fun, especially with Goodwill on commentary. It is hilarious.
Yeah. And we've just touched on 5,200 members this week. So again, the cult's still growing. Remember to buy your tickets for SunnyCon. Like I said, a local convention up in the northeast. It's run by the lovely Donna and her lovely fella as well. It's going to be from Saturday, I believe Friday, Saturday and Sunday are the main days. We're actually going to be doing a live panel. We'll be doing this shit live in front of a studio audience.
Teammates.
Get to see below my torso. Yes. I'll be wearing trousers.
I will try and record it as well. So we we'll think where we'll be having a little bit of a chat with a crowd. And we'll be walking around talking to people, trying to meet members as well of the cult. So please, if you see us, ask for a picture of Charlotte's feet, and like I say, I would love to see that face. And Donna's just pointing out it's in 12 days. So please get your tickets in. It's very, very like I say. I'm trying to get the thing. It's a very well run event. It's got some interesting. If you love your anime, if you love your comics, there's going to be a lot of hot female in cosplay as well. So that's always a good selling point.
Well, that's the selling point. But if you do see us walking around, remember, use them hashtags that we have ever grown within our community. What else was I going to say? There was something. Nope, that's it. That's it. My brain's just fried tonight. I'm sorry.
Yes.
The fire things through us.
Bless you. Right, guys. So we'll wrap it up. Follow us on, like I say, any type of place you get. Please subscribe to YouTube. Hit that subscribe button. I'll get on my knees and do lovely things to you if you do that.
Yes, and thank you to all new and old subscribers to YouTube. Very much appreciate the numbers. So thank you very much.
Cool. And thank you, Martin, for joining us. It's been a while.
Thank you, Martin.
Hopefully it won't be too long again next
pleasure.
time. Same bat time, same bat channel.
Stay nerdy, everyone. Bye.